Hi, this is Will Knight. I'm your host of All About Nothing, and today my co-host is
Victor. Hi, Will. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
And we're here at Victor's Gallery today in Chicago in the River North. So, Victor, tell everybody about this new artwork that's absolutely brilliant.
So this is a show called Finding Center. It's a Madison-based painter named Zach Zdrale. And Zack is a very well-known figure painter. I've been showing him here at my gallery since I opened in 2017.
Okay. So, how did you meet Zack? How did that come about?
So before I opened my own gallery, I worked at another gallery here in River North, actually just a block away from where we are now, for 20 years. And in that position, I started to follow several artists, check out their work. When I saw someone whose work I really liked, I'd continue to watch what they were doing in their careers, and you know, like anybody else, I was a fan. And when I opened my own gallery, Zack and I met. I can't remember if he approached me or I approached him, but our paths crossed, and immediately I was like, yeah, I love your work. Let's start working together. And I've been showing him ever since.
So his work is absolutely amazing. As I'm looking around, I was supposed to come opening night that you had the art gallery show and the exhibit, and I tell you, I was sick and I missed it. And I came by when you were closed, looked at through the window, and I was like, I had to have you on again.
Well, thank you. It was a great opening night. I'm sorry that you missed it. Zack had people here from all over the country, as far as the East Coast flew in for his opening. And that's really a testament about him as a person and his work. He has people that really watch what he does and how he paints.
Yeah. So tell me more about Zack.
Zack is a very established painter. He's been around for a number of years, and he's from Madison, so he's got those Midwest roots, but in his painting career, he's been able to live, teach, work all over the country. He did go to school in San Francisco and taught there as well. That's where he met his San Francisco dealer, now since closed.
Art dealer.
Art dealer, yes, art dealer. Sorry, yeah, we use that term freely in this world. Whenever I say dealer, it's art.
Art.
Another kind of addiction,
yes,
but a healthy one. So Zack has built up a reputation and an audience internationally. I've sold his work all over the world.
Okay. I love your gallery. It's absolutely beautiful. So tell me about your gallery.
So this gallery, we're located in River North. I'd worked here since the 90s, and I love this neighborhood. I opened on my own in 2017 in this space that we're sitting in. And the gallery has exhibitions that rotate about monthly or bi-monthly, where we have several shows a year. Each time the gallery kind of transforms into a different space. Right now the gallery is actually painted a deep dark brown, and it will stay this color till the end of the year. We painted it for our last show, and then the walls look so warm and inviting we kept it, and they work perfectly with Zack's work as well. We represent over 70 artists from all over the world. There's a focus on figurative art and realism, but not necessarily in a totally traditional sense. It has a very contemporary feel to it, and Zack's work embodies exactly what this gallery is about. Work that is really beautifully rendered. It's tied to the history of art in a lot of ways, and figurative art. But it's also very forward-thinking. And when I look at an artist's work, I like to see all of those things, that connection to history, talking about today, but I also like to see it in the future, because people that I sell these works to, museums, collectors, everyday people. These are relationships that I carry on for many years, and I like to go back to someone's house in 20 years and visit them and see a painting that we sold them on their wall, and they still love it. I look at the painting and I'm blown away because it's still talking about, today. And Zach's work has that through line, that kind of timeless feel to it, where it will always be relevant. And I look for that quality in artwork, in painting, and in particular artists' works.
So tell us about the 3 paintings that we're looking at right now.
So this show has a total of 9 paintings, and they really tell a story. And the main wall in this show I see as the kickoff to the story. That's a series of 3 pieces called Let Go 1, 2, and 3. And there are 3 figures, 3 male figures in contemporary dress. They're all wearing jeans. They're shirtless, and they are tethered to or holding or pulling a rope that's coming from out of the picture plane. So there's this sense of struggle. They're called Let Go, which means, you're letting something go. But it really looks like they're holding on. They're grabbing this rope. You can see the tension in their muscles, in their bodies, the way their torsos are torqued, and the way that they're painted with the light source that's kind of coming from behind and glowing or hitting the figure in a certain way. It really highlights the tension in these works. There's one of the paintings that someone at the opening pointed out, and I really loved that they said this. The lighter of the 3 paintings, I think it's Let Go 3. The figure has like a farmer's tan. You can see his arms have this brown, right where his T-shirt would have been, and you see the sun has hit his neck, and that's such a connection to the Midwest. Like you see this guy working outdoors, and then with his T-shirt on, and then that farmer's tan kind of remains, and that kind of pulls them into the earth, into the ground where they work.
Now the artist is from?
He's from Madison.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And tell us about the artist.
So Zach's a great guy. Has really built a following in his art career, and you don't just do that by happenstance. He's smart, he is talented, and his work has shown longevity, and a lot of people follow him. He has an interesting personal story, and it also ties into the theme of a lot of these works, which are about loss and acceptance and recovery, and they kind of walk you through all those stages of loss or grief or whatever that may be. Zach, a number of years ago, was stretching a canvas in his studio and couldn't remember why he was there doing that or how to do it. And then as he was standing there and feeling a little confused, he couldn't remember how he had gotten to his studio. So he had the wherewithal to call his wife, and they took him to the emergency room where he had an emergency brain surgery. There was a tumor pressing against his short-term memory, the part of the brain that remembers things in the short term, and then it was also pressing against his visual, the cords that control vision. And in the surgery, they were able to completely remove the tumor, but there was the loss of the vision in one of his eyes completely and partially in the other eye.
Okay.
So in terms of that, when you frame the artworks in terms of that kind of loss, a physical loss, and especially for an artist whose entire career relies on the visual, it was a major loss personally for him, but also he immediately after the surgery was back in his studio and painting and sort of reteaching himself how to approach canvas. And this is not something that he did in 1 or 2 sessions. This has been the entire time that I've known him, this kind of acceptance of this new reality, figuring out how to approach art as an artist with visual impairment, and then moving towards the next part of your life. And this is the largest show of Zach's works that we've had. It's also the most powerful, and I think it really coalesces exactly what he's trying to do as an artist.
Yeah.
And the works had this universal theme in them about loss and moving on. And each work in this show tells that story and communicates that to the audience in a different way and in a really powerful way.
Now, let's go back to the artwork. Can you describe that piece on the end?
Yes, there's the painting that we placed in the window. It's such a great image. It's the kind of a painting you see, and it has this this iconography that you feel like you've known your whole life. It's 3 figures. They're standing in like a marching stance, one in front of the other. Each figure has their hand on the other one's shoulder. So, and their heads are bowed, and they're just in these t-shirts over some pants, jeans or a canvas pant, and they're kind of walking or marching forward. The painting is called Movers On, and it really talks in some ways to me about acceptance. So a lot of these paintings are about struggle and anger and all of these different parts of loss or grief. This one is almost like maybe they're giving up or maybe they're letting go. Something in there is less about the struggle and more about the acceptance. And it's just such a powerful image of the 3 figures there.
This artwork is unbelievable. People, you have to come down to Victor's Art Gallery in River North. How did you get your gallery started?
So,
Because you've been here for what, how long?
I've been in the neighborhood for 30 years, and my own gallery opened in 2017. So I was working at another gallery for 20 years. I'd started as a 27-year-old, unexperienced at an art gallery. I worked for a very well-known Chicago art dealer named Ann Nathan for 20 years. We were side by side, so it was my career for my whole life. At one point in 2016, Ann announced she was retiring. She was 92. And I went home and, of course this possibility had come up in my imagination, but I went home and talked to my husband, and we had done some things in our life to be prepared for the moment. And so we said, okay, this is it. This is the moment. And we immediately got our business plan together. I had kind of an idea of how things worked, but we wanted to put it on paper and see if it could actually work as a plan.
And there's no chat GPT
There
at that
wasn't
time.
chat GPT quite, but there was the internet, so we could do research. And plus it was more of like me putting what I already knew into words, as you're thinking of, okay, it's one thing to work for someone. It's quite another to do it on your own and take on all the financial responsibility. And in this business, all the emotional responsibility of, supporting artists and working directly with artists and being their voice to the public. That's a huge decision to make. And so we thought it could work, and also I think I'm totally inadequate to do anything else. So it was like it was now or never, and we closed Ann's gallery down at the end of 2016. By that time, my business plan was already moving. We had a space, and we opened up here 3 months later in 2017. And some of the artists from Ann's gallery came along on this ride. I wanted, artists whose work, of course, I really loved, who I had a great relationship with, and whose vision kind of matched with what I saw for the gallery. But I also wanted to leave in room for a lot of fresh voices, fresh work. And Zach was one of those artists, and we started working together immediately.
And how many artists do you have on your like call sheet or?
So we represent over 70 artists here at the gallery. It's a lot, and it's a lot of responsibility. But I kind of thrive on that energy of a lot of different kind of things. Some of our artists don't produce a whole lot of works. This is about 2 years worth of work for Zack. That's 9 paintings. That's not a lot of work to have. And when I put on a show like this, I don't expect to sell them all at once. Art is not that easy to sell. So I sort of see it as a long-term thing. But the gallery is constantly changing and evolving with the different shows. So right now we have Zack's show. When his show's over, I continue to show his works here in other parts of the gallery, in other group shows, and it has this continuation. People, I think when you walk into a gallery and you look at the walls, you're like, oh, this is what this gallery shows, and that's it. That couldn't be further from the truth for this gallery and for actually most galleries. When you walk into a space, you're seeing 10% of their inventory and what they do. The majority of my daily sales are from our inventory, online, from people who walk in, from people who are looking for specific things, and we're constantly pulling from that inventory to show works. And our next show, which opens actually a week from Friday, is a good example of that. It'll be a salon show, so there'll be a lot of other artists. It'll be anchored by one artist named Peter Lupkin, but we'll have a chance to show a lot of different things in that show.
So tell us about this piece right here, the female that's bending over.
So that is called Mammal, and there are 2 works in this show that contain female figures. The majority are males. There was a point when I asked Zach, why do you paint so many men? And it was because when he was in art school, his friends were guys, and they were the easiest models for him to work with. And it's actually turned out that his best model these days is himself, as his friends have married, had children, moved away, done all of these things. He has a much harder time connecting with them on a regular basis. This is one of the models that he actually hired for this show. And it's the female figure that she's in 2 of these paintings. And she, like the let go pieces that we talked about before, this struggle or this tension, this painting is almost like the antithesis of that. There is a rope or a string or a fabric coming from out of the plane of the picture, but it's totally slack. And the figure here is bent almost in a form of acceptance or surrender, and she's holding on to the string, but the tension is gone and the string is just sort of sitting there. It's also a bright red string, and so there's that humanness about that. It's like a bloodline that's coming through the picture plane. The figure is bent, her hand is clenched, so we have those 3 figures where they're holding the rope tightly. This figure, her hand is almost in a sign language pose, trying to communicate, and it's not as tense, but it still seems to be in some form of struggle. And then, the figure is almost blended also with the background. The use of paint here is very subdued and calm, as opposed to some of the reds and the brighter colors of the other paintings.
So this exhibit has been here since when, and when does it end?
This show opened on beginning of November, I think it was the 5th or 6th, and it's only here until November 29th. So Saturday is the last day for the show. However, we will continue to hang some of the works, and people can always come in or make arrangements ahead of time. And let us know, and we'll be happy to hang the works for you to see. You come in, we'll pull them out and hold them up for you. The show that kind of announces the artist exhibition is just the beginning, and the works continue to to be exhibited throughout the remainder of their time here until they sell and go to their next home, wherever that may be.
Now, at break, you mentioned museums.
Yes.
You sell some of your pieces to different museums, or
We always
alone?
try to show, sell, and place artists' works with, museums. Very difficult to do these days, but there are a lot of great smaller regional museums that do wonderful shows. We just finished this year. We had several shows, one at the Instituto Cervantes here in River North.
Oh, okay.
With artists from Spanish-speaking countries who we represent. There was another show in Highland Park at the Art Center Highland Park that was an overview of figurative art. That was up for their spring exhibition and fundraiser. And then just last week, word came back from the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where we had a terrific show that was up for a few months. And so whether or not we sell them into the permanent collections or have them in exhibitions, the idea is to get the work out there to the world. And
So
have
people
them
can see it, people
Let
can
them
know the
see it,
artist.
let them learn about the artist. And then from that, you get collectors, you get collections, you build those relationships and kind of extend the artist's reach through their work.
Yeah. Well, this is absolutely beautiful. Where can people find you? This
We are located at 300 West Superior Street in River North, and absolutely a pleasure to speak to you today, Will.
No problem. Thank you very much. And this is Victor from Victor's Art Gallery, and this is Will Knight, your host, and this is All About Nothing. Talk to you guys later.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.